Hi and welcome to the 5-Minute Business Boost, where you get to choose your 5-minute investment. I'm your host, Sam Nix, and I'll be discussing topics under the headings of business development, marketing, photography, and much more. Welcome to this week's 5-Minute Business Boost. So today I'm talking about stop starting from scratch every time you use Gemini. If you've been experimenting with Google Gemini, the AI, chances are you've asked it to write a Facebook post, a drafted email, or help with the newsletter. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's what we need to be using AI for. But if that is all you're using it for, you are just scratching the surface. Over the past few months, I've been spending more time using Gemini, particularly as it becomes more integrated into Google Workspace, because I have clients that ask me all the time, Sam, how do I do this? Sam, what do I do here? And especially through workshops that I run, people are asking me all the time. So the more I've used it, the more I've realized that its real value isn't in writing content. It's actually understanding your business. So once Gemini actually understands your business, it stops giving those generic answers and starts giving advice that's actually relevant to you. For a very busy small business owner, this is where the real time savings begin. So first, let's clear up any confusion. Google's made it a bit tricky and a little confusing because there are now several AI products that sound very similar. Here's a very simple explanation. Gemini. This is the AI chat assistant. Think of it as Google's version of ChatGPT. You ask the questions, you brainstorm ideas, you draft content and solve problems. Gems. Gems are custom versions of Gemini that you create yourself. You give them instructions, you upload business information and assign them a role. And once they're set up, they remember how you like to work and understand your business without you having to explain it time and time again. NotebookLM is a completely separate Google product. Instead of acting like an assistant, it's designed to help you analyze documents. You upload reports, meeting notes, PDFs, or research papers, and then you ask questions about the information inside those documents. So, for most small business owners, I find that they're using most of their time using Gemini and Gems. NotebookLM is fantastic for research, policy documents, meeting minutes, or large reports, but that could be a topic for another day. That's not saying that you can't get in there and play with it, people. Get in there and have a good snoop around. Anyway, stop repeating yourself. This is why we're here today. Every time we open an AI chat, we usually spend the first few minutes exploring or explaining who we are. I'm a photographer. I own a cafe. I work with local government. My customers are mainly women aged between 35 and 60. And then tomorrow when you log in, you're doing the same thing again. So this is where Gems can come in. Instead of introducing yourself every single time, you create a custom gem once. So think of it as if you're giving a new employee an induction. You explain your business once, and then from then on, your assistant remembers. So let's build your first gem. If you're using Gemini Advanced or Google Workspace, look down the left-hand side of your screen. You will see Explore Gems or Gems, something like that. I'm just looking across to have a look at what mine says. It just says Gems. So you're going to click on it. You're going to give your gem a name, and it could be any of these. I'm just making this stuff up. Marketing assistant, content creator, administration assistant, business coach, my business assistant. The name doesn't really matter. Choose something that is going to make sense for you. Next, you'll see an instructions box. This is where you tell Gemini who it is and how you want it to work. For example, you are my business assistant. I work with small business owners across regional Australia, delivering workshops, mentoring and marketing advice. Does this sound familiar, people? You always write using Australian spelling and plain English. You keep your responses practical, conversational and easy to understand. You avoid corporate jargon. If you don't know enough information, you need to ask me questions before answering. So this simple paragraph that I've just created, if you were me, would save you from typing in the same instructions in again and over again. Now, you can add a little knowledge. If you scroll down to the knowledge section, And there might be, and I'm wondering where that is. Let me just see. If you scroll down to the knowledge section, this is where the magic really begins. So you can upload a few documents that explain your business. Now, you don't need dozens, okay? You just start with a couple. So, for example, it might be your about page, your service guide, a capability statement, a price list, maybe frequently asked questions straight off the website. That'd be really cool. Maybe the last couple of newsletters. And if you've got it, a business plan. So these documents become the foundation of your GEMS understanding. Now, you don't upload everything on day one, people. Just start small, because otherwise you're going to overwhelm it. Use it for a week or two and then gradually build it as you discover what information is most useful. Now, for me, I've been using a lot of AIs, and I think I'm coming up to 4 years now. And some of them I've built quite powerfully because over time I've given them more information about my business or more things about how I want them to speak and do things. So you have to gradually build it. And you have to make sure that you've included that prompt that says to the AI or the gem that you're building, you need to ask me questions. Don't think that you know everything about my business. Make sure you ask me questions. Now, you need to ask better questions, sort of been leading into this. So once your gem actually understands your business, you need to stop at asking to write another Facebook post. Instead, ask questions that will actually help you run your business. Try things like, what questions do my customers ask most often? What services don't I explain very well? Based on my newsletters, what topics haven't I covered yet? What is missing from my website? If you were my customer, what would confuse you? What workshop potentially could I develop next? And where could I save time each week? These questions produce far more valuable answers because they're based on your business, not a generic business somewhere else in the world. Now, one thing of advice that I can give you is if you can, create more than one gem. So one of the biggest advantages of gems is that you don't have to stop at one. You could create a few different business assistants. So a marketing gem might help you with newsletters, blogs, and social media. A business planning gem might help you with strategy, planning, and new ideas. A customer service gem might help you to draft emails and responses. Now, think about it, a content generator gem. Now, this is going to understand your tone of voice and can help you develop podcast scripts, workshop notes, and presentations. So each one is going to have a different job. Each one is going to have slightly different instructions that you've given it. And because before long, you're going to have a small team of AI assistants, each specialising in a different area of your business. Now, a quick word about privacy, because this comes up in every workshop I run. And this is the big question. What happens to all my business documents? Now, if you're using Gemini through a paid Google Workspace account or Gemini Advanced, Google states that your workspace data isn't used to train the public AI models. And that's one of the reasons many businesses are choosing the paid versions of AI, people, when working with internal business information. Now, that said, it is not good practice to upload highly confidential client information or sensitive financial data unless you're confident it complies with your own business policies and privacy obligations. So you've got to remember who's in charge, because AI is incredibly good at drafting. It can summarize, organize, compare, brainstorm, spot patterns, and potentially, if you do it correctly, it can save you hours every week. But remember, it still needs a human in the driver's seat. So you need to review anything customer-facing. You need to double-check legal, financial, or compliance advice. And remember that your experience, judgment, and local knowledge are still your best competitive advantage. So this week's 5-minute investment is don't ask Gemini to write yet another Facebook post, people. Instead, please spend 5 minutes creating your first gem. Teach it about your business. Upload a few documents and then ask it to solve a real business problem. I think you might be surprised how quickly it moves from being an interesting AI tool to becoming a genuinely useful member of your business team. And who knows, you might even get part of your day back. Till next time, have a fabulous day. Bye for now. Thanks for listening to the 5-Minute Business Boost. For more information, follow me on socials, sign up for my newsie, or check out my website to see how we can work together to reach your small business goals. Remember, anything is possible, especially in the northeast of Victoria. Until next time, cheerio!